I'd like to ask you a question. What do you think would be the greatest contribution to humanity of the 21st century? Would it be creating a space industry, or space flight industry? Would it be curing AIDS or some other disease? What would it be to you? What would be the greatest contribution to humanity in the 21st century? I know what it is for me. It is providing everyone with equal access to education. It would mean allowing the child in Ethiopia or the villager in China or some kid in India the same opportunity I had, or even in a way better opportunity than I had, because I didn't have much of an opportunity being dyslexic growing up in our post-industrial education system. With all the money being spent in global engineering, no one is talking about global re-engineering education, except for me, of course, and 100 business leaders, part of the E30 India Committee in LinkedIn. It seems the world is deaf to the idea that we could radically transform our education system. And you're probably wondering, well, okay, that sounds great, Mike, but what do you mean by that? Well, what I mean is this. There's no reason why all education can't be piped through one location, one platform. Now, just as we go to school, we get education. Think about it. When you go to school, what is it that you get? You get people standing up, sage on the stage, lecturing you. You write down notes, and you'll pretty much study those notes. You do the homework exercises and everything. I mean, what of that cannot be given through online? What part of that education that you got and I got could I not get online? I mean, the reality is not all of it can. And why, for example, colleges and everything else, why do we have to pay for education? Have you ever contemplated that? You know, education should be a natural right, no different than food, shelter, clothing. Inalienable right, guaranteed to everyone. You know, like the pursuit of happiness and education should be together. But why isn't it? You know, Mandela and Gandhi both understood this. And I believe if Gandhi was alive today, he would be by my side fighting for equal access to education. All right, so I've sold you. All right, you say I'm on your bandwagon. What do we do next? Well, there are three parts to the project that I'm working on. The first project part, what I call the tool. The tool is an open source mechanism for creating media courseware. Now, what I mean by that is, in the future, if I want to listen to a lecture or get information, I mean, we learn by watching. Everything we do, if you look at a child, look at my son, everything he learns is by watching and doing. Watching is important, then he tries. Well, education in the future, or as it is now, is built upon watching. And most of our time is spent, well, most kids' time is spent in front of a television. So I think education in the future should model after a television. That would make sense, wouldn't it? So the education platform in the future will have a tool that will allow anyone to create any multimedia. The content, you say, well, where is the content going to come from? Well, we've got over 60 years of global television. And I will challenge anyone to say that the entire scope of education from K through 18 and lower is available from television. Now, I'm not interested in people watching TV show after TV show after TV show, okay? What I'm interested in is taking that content, splicing it up like Swiss cheese, taking all the what I call objective-based educational parts out of it, because there's a lot of camera work and all that stuff. Take the meat out of these videos, these TV programs, provide them, make them available online, allow anyone to manipulate them and create short, concise, what I call objective-based video clips. Tie some games, which is also an open source vehicle. Then they become objective-based video modules when they have a clip and a game tied to them. And anyone could take the clip, take the game, change it to any language, change it to anything you want, and then deliver it through a platform. Now, understand what I say by platform. A browser is a platform, okay? Windows 7 is a platform. Wikipedia is not a platform. Slipio is not a platform. YouTube is not a platform. Okay? So what we need to develop is the actual platform, which is an autonomous vehicle that drives the student through education, giving him choices along the way, but ultimately drives them, like a TV show. Think of education in the future as an interactive TV show that you interact with. That's the future of education. And that's what I'm building, or I plan to build, in partnership with India and China. Because those two countries cannot meet the logistical needs of a traditional, what I call education 1.0 system. They can't. So, in reality, all the technology exists to flatten global education. We can build that platform. We have all the content. What are we missing? Some dollars, some cheap. Building this platform is going to cost less than $300 million. Last week I said 150. I'm just going to double it. All right. I think it'll cost probably under $1 million, 100 million, not a million, 100 million. There's a lot of work to do. Don't get me wrong. We're building a platform, not some sort of software solution. It's a big undertaking. All right. But the reality is we can do it. That's it. Let's flatten global education. Let's make education available to everyone. And let's do it. Let's give education as a gift to every human being in the world who has access to broadband. And I'll tell you, you say, well, what if they don't have access? What if they don't have hardware? I'll tell you, if we have a complete education solution, people will come up with the hardware, people will come up with the access. Because both of them will mean complete access to, I keep saying, it means a complete access to education. Those are incidentals. So let's flatten education. Let's do it. Michael Trout. I'm the education e-revolution dictator, redefining how education is going to be played.